o'clock. It's 2 o'clock and we are ready to get started with our 3-part series on cooking with children with Michelle Estrada. And guys know last year she gave us some really cool tips that we can use inside the classrooms with the children. And she has topped herself and has changed everything and is doing even more stuff for us again this year. So I know I am excited, and I want to just say welcome back, Michelle. And if anyone has any questions or anything, please put them in the chat box. Emma is here, Mia's here, and myself, and we'll be able to make sure that Michelle gets everything. Okay, so without further ado, welcome, Michelle. Thank you for coming back again.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. Well, today we're going to be talking about cooking with children. I'm Michelle Estrada. I'm the Family and Consumer Science Agent in Wayne County with Cooperative Extension. And today, like I said, we can go to the next slide, Marianne, please. So we're going to be talking about 3 things, but we have a lot of information for you and a lot of things that you can use in the classroom. So we're going to share with you a Google Drive at the end of the class, and so you can go and access all the information, including this presentation. So today we're going to be talking about the benefits of cooking in early childhood education. We're going to be talking about tips for a successful cooking class. And if you were here last year, we're going to touch a little bit on the plan that we did last year. And my favorite, we're going to be cooking with local foods. So first, we know that cooking with children is very important. And sometimes we don't want, or parents, most of the times are like, oh, but my child will not eat that. Or, they don't eat this color food. And we know that sometimes it can be a health issue, but most of the times it's because children are not exposed to that kind of food. So very important to cooking with children if we want children to eat healthy. So that's the main reason why we want to cook with children, right? But also we can do other things. We can help them with other things when we're cooking with children. And I'm not going to touch a lot about the different areas of development, because in our 3rd session is when we're going to be talking about all the activities and all the benefits that that cooking with children bring when we're cooking. So first, social development. So when we're working with children, they can follow the recipes and they can be independent. And we're going to see a lot of that today, the way we plan the cooking class. So that's going to really help our children to act independent. It also teaches them to follow directions and develop problem-solving skills. So now, if we're talking about physical development, that is one of the biggest one in the kitchen, because we all know that, as a mom, I remember I just want my child to write his name or her name, but they need a lot of fine motor skills to be able to do that. So in the kitchen, you can learn a lot. When you're cooking, those fine motor and eye-hand coordinator skills are developing when we're chopping, when we're mixing, when we're when we're squeezing, or when we're spreading. And we're going to do some of that today. So also, cognitive development allows children the opportunity to use their knowledge, and they have to apply all the things that they know, like we need to count, we need to measure, we need to follow sequences, we need to follow directions. And of course, in the kitchen, we see a lot of cause and effect. So then the last one, but it's very important too, we're talking about language development. Cooking offers the opportunity to develop language development by linking it to all other areas. So we can include math, science, social studies, arts, and literacy. So we know that cooking, it's important, but we want to be sure that it's not just cooking, because we all can cook, right? But we need to do it with intention. So it is important to consider the teacher's role when we're cooking with children. So the first thing, as teachers, we need to be sure that our kitchen is safe. And when I'm talking about kitchen, I completely understand that you don't have a real kitchen like I do to teach your children, right? But every time that we go to the classroom, and I have been doing this for years now, every time that I go to the classroom, I transform that classroom in a real kitchen. So you don't need, if you have a sink, you can have a kitchen. So don't worry about it. But it's important that you're sure that you keep your children safe, and also that we include food safety. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And also the important thing in here is the way you express things when you're doing these type of activities, these kind of activities, because we want to be sure that we're encouraging children to communicate. So if we're just doing a recipe because we want to do it, it doesn't really have that intention. We want to be sure what are the skills that we want our children to learn. And also that includes the critical thinking. So if we are cooking with them and we start asking questions about, well, what happened when I mixed this with this? Remember that I told you to cut it in half and now it's smaller. So what happened? So all those things that you can, those activities, we want to do those activities with intention. And when I include kitchen safety and food safety in here, it's not because it's just your responsibility. It's another area that you can teach your children, because in the future, at the end, we want them to be sure that their kitchen is safe and that they're applying food safety basics. So these are some tips for a successful cooking class. Be sure that you use hands-on and developmentally appropriate recipes. And I'm so excited. I'm not going to tell you yet, but we have a lot of recipes for you that we create just specific for this program. And hopefully we will be able to put more recipes in that. So last year, I'm not sure if the people that was last year in the class is here this year, but last year, people asked me for activities. They even asked me if I had a book. So you really made me feel like I have to do something else for this class. So you will see all the materials that we have for you. So another thing is have all the supplies and tools needed for the cooking experience. And you see in here, we are ready to teach a class. And I'm going to be showing you all the supplies that we have in here. Have enough staff or volunteers to provide close supervision of the cooking project. Very important. This is not an activity that we want to stress because we don't have enough help, or because somebody, as one of the kids dropped something in the floor and now you need to go and clean really quick, but then you're going to get distracted. No, we want to be sure that we enjoy and that we go with the flow. So very important to have volunteers and our other staff with you. And of course, and this is one of the hardest one for me, because I see cooking activities sometimes in the classroom, but they're not using healthy recipes. So if during the early years, we're trying to teach our children to eat healthy, this is when we're really teaching them to get healthy habits. So if we're not teaching them to cook healthy food, of course, they're not going to learn how to eat healthy food. So we need to be sure that we promote those healthy food choices and, of course, local seasonal foods. Okay, the first thing, and this is what we talked about last year, it's important to make a plan. When you have a plan, things go smooth. When we don't have a plan, we have to, adjust to the things that are happening around. And even when we have a plan, but at least, we know what we want to do. So this is another document that you will have in your Google Drive. So you can fill this out. Again, you want to know the age group, the number of participants, the name of the recipe, at what time are you going to set up, the cooking time, the cleanup time, if you have any special dietary needs, what are your objectives? We're not just cooking because we're cooking. If my objective is to talk about, I don't know, green fruits and vegetables, because green fruits and vegetables has a lot of nutrients. So I have to put it there. Or because I'm teaching the green color, that is another thing. Or because I'm teaching fine motor skills. So what is my objective? with volunteers, who is going to be my volunteer? The recipe adjustments. For these recipes that we're presenting today, you will not need a lot of adjustments because we create these recipes in a way that is an individual recipe. So that is, I'm so excited about that because I think I told you before that many years ago, I was a preschool teacher. And sometimes you find recipes and you want to use those recipes, but if those recipes are for 4 people or 8 people and for a normal portion, it is hard to make those adjustments. That's why we put a lot of work in this, but it's going to be worth it. So food safety considerations, if you have things that you have to prep before, or you need to put it in the refrigerator, or you need to keep it hot, you put all those food safety considerations there. Then you have your shopping list and your cooking tools. Then you have your equipment, the equipment that you need, and the classroom layout. Once you do this one time, this is going to be almost the same thing all over again. And it's good because the children will get used to your plan. So that's really good. And it's less work that you have to do. Before cooking class, what do you need to do? What are those prep steps that you need to do? And then you can kind of measure your time to see, or you plan your time about like for the recipe introduction, how long I'm going to talk about that. 2 minutes, for example. Kitchen and food safety, tell your kids about those things. Preparing a dish, how long it's going to take, how we're going to transform the cooking area into an eating area. Then we need to eat that together because that's what families do, and that's what we want to encourage our children to do. We're going to guide on eating together, we're going to clean up, and then we're going to wrap up. So after you do this cooking activity, then you're going to evaluate yourself in all the things that happen around that time. So that way, when you do this plan again, when you use this plan again next year, you're going to be able to say, okay, I'm not going to buy the shredded carrots because that didn't work. I'm going to do it this way. Or, those are just crazy examples, but okay. So now, like I said before, this year, I am so excited because all the recipes that we chose are we're using local foods. Okay, so with using local foods, we come up with this idea that I'm just so crazy about it. That we're creating these. It's not a program, but it's more like a collection of resources, and we call it Steaming Around NC. So we know that on the last session, we're going to be talking more about the STEAM, on how to incorporate the STEAM into the curriculum. So that's why we want to share all these resources with you. And again, it's all about local foods. Okay, so first we need to know what is in season, right? So we went to this wonderful graphic that got to be in Sea Agriculture. It has in their website, and we can see what is in season. So we chose 12 recipes, okay? 12 different vegetables, fruits and vegetables that we're going to use through the year. So you're going to have one recipe for January, another recipe for February. So I want to challenge you that do at least one cooking activity a month. And that, that way the kids get used to these, and they're going to start eating more things. And you can tell them, right now, I don't know, like in January, I think we chose carrots. And we know that in North Carolina, we don't grow a lot of carrots, but it's something that we can grow in here. So, and the children can learn more about carrots, and they can cook with carrots. So this is my favorite. And when I'm teaching, or when I'm ready to plan a class, we always search on the internet, and we're trying to make things easier for us. One of the hardest things for me is that when I'm teaching different classes during the week, so I go shopping, but if I don't have a shopping list with me, so I have to create a shopping list. So to make things easier for you, we create a shopping list. So you're going to see here on the month of January, the product is carrots, okay? And the recipe is I made a mistake. Carrots patch salad. And then we have all the ingredients per child. And I'm going to explain you in a little bit why we have it per child. And then we have the ingredients per class. And the way we're giving you this shopping list is that we count like for 10 servings, 10 small servings. You know, children, they don't need to eat a lot. Now, if you were making these for their lunch, that is different. Or, but this is more like a snack size, okay? And also because we want you to save some money. And another thing that we include in here after we did all the math, we're telling you like, this is approximately how much will cost per child, okay? So if for the first one, if you have 10 children, it's around $15. Some of the ingredients, you may not need to buy them, right? Or maybe if you have a relationship with a farmer, they can say, oh, don't worry about the spinach. I have spinach, I donated to you. Or if you have a leftover from the lunch that you're serving at your center, you can use that. So, and like I say, in February, like for example, we're doing spinach burritos and we're gonna make that one today. Then in March is broccoli and we're gonna make veggie pizza. And that's the one that we're gonna make today too. So you have different options and we have the whole year for you, okay? So this is prep before class. So that's another thing. I want someone I can follow directions in a recipe, right? But I want someone to tell me what do I need to do before I teach the cooking class. So what we made in here with the same recipes. So we have again, the month, the products, recipe, and then we have the ingredients per child. So what are the things that as a teacher, I need to do before I teach the class? And remember, it's very important to have volunteers. So if I don't have the time to do this prep, I can ask a volunteer to do it for me, okay? So like for example, with the carrots patch salad, we need to measure and pack all ingredients in individual containers. That is the only thing that we need to do. So you may ask, why is she using individual containers? All the recipes, they are like that. We set it up that way, especially because all of the restrictions that we have right now. So in a way for children to avoid touching someone else's food, we are individually, everything is measured and packed individually, okay? So for me, I really want them to explore with measuring, but at this time, with all the restrictions, we can do that, okay? Because we don't want them to touch someone else's food. So that's why we're doing it this way. But, you know, as the restrictions loose and you teach children more about food safety, maybe you don't have to do all this prep of measuring and packing individually. Like in the second example, that is the spinach burrito, you need to cut the tortillas in half. That's the only thing. And then you just measure and pack everything. In the next example, we have the veggie pizza. You need to cut the flatbread in 8 pieces. You need to wash the products, cut the broccoli, and measure and pack all the ingredients. So it tells you what are the things you have to do. We know that there's recipes that are really, really good, okay? The recipes, these are not bad. I'm not trying to say that, but these are really good recipes, but I'm having a hard time finding recipes that I can do with very young children. So that's why we're sharing these recipes with you. Many of these recipes, we already tried them with younger children, others not. Some of the recipes we were not able to try it with young children, but that's why we have a survey that you can share your ideas and your feedback with us, okay? So the last column, it says kitchen tools per child, and that's basically what are the things that your child is going to need to be able to participate in the cooking class. We did not put the tools that you will need to do the other things, to do the prep work. but that's, obvious, whatever, if you're cutting, of course, you need a cutting board and a knife, but we put all the other things. So this is my favorite part. Let's see how I'm doing on time. Anybody has any questions so far? Because if not, I start talking and talking and talking, and you can use the chat box or you can just open your mic.
I don't see any in the chat box. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Bless you. Okay. Anybody has any questions or comments so far? No? Okay, so we can continue. Okay, so here are the recipes. So in January, we have carrot patch salad. And you see, we use all pictures, and we try not to put a lot of words, but we put some words because we know that some children, they're going to start, spelling words, or they're going to identify some of the letters. So in February, we have the spinach burrito. Then we have in March the veggie pizza. Then we have this delicious berry banana split that is really good. Then we made a blueberry smash that I'm sure children are going to enjoy it because I enjoy it myself just in making it. The easy peasy tomato kebabs. This is very popular with young children. They love it. This was part of our Locally Delicious program, and kids did a wonderful job making those. The watermelon squeezy. Then we have one of my favorites too, the Fruity Tooty Peach Salad. Then we have, this is another one that the children they got crazy when we were doing this. We did this for Easter, and it's funfetti donuts. Then we have the pumpkin pie bites, and oh my goodness, this is my favorite. It tastes really good. Honey roasted sweet potatoes, and only this one. Oh no, we have two. Oh my goodness, I made a mistake. Okay, no worry. I have the right one on the Google Drive. So for November, we have the honey roasted sweet potatoes that you will need an oven. You don't need a big oven. We actually have a small oven that we can use for that. In the December, I didn't change it. I cut and paste, and I didn't do the right thing. So for that one, we have the stone soup, okay? And that is another one that you will need. You don't need a stove. We made it in a slow cooker. So that is very good because you can just make it in. It is based on the book. So that is going to be really, really fun. I'm sorry about that mistake, but I will fix it for you in the Google Drive. So now what we're going to do, we're going to talk about cooking supplies. So sometimes when you're doing cooking classes, it's a little bit scary because you're like, okay, it's going to be expensive because the food is expensive. If you can ask for donations, because parents will be more than happy to help you to bring, the cheese. One brings the cheese, another one brings the sweet potatoes, another brings the honey. So that will really help. But some of the supplies that we use, or the utensils that we use, I have it in here. I'm in the right camera now, Marianne? Okay, so this is basically the whole thing that you're going to need for supplies. So you have one option. You can just use disposables, but you know that you're going to make a lot of trash. But if it's more convenient for you, because then you don't have to wash anything, that is fine. But I'm trying slowly to change it to things that I can reuse, okay? So there's one store that everybody knows where they have a pack of 4 of these plates for 98 cents, I think. So this is something that you can reuse and reuse. And again, you see at the shopping list or the prep list, what are the supplies that you're gonna need. So this is part of that, okay? Then you're gonna need some bowls. And this is when they prep all the things. The children can do that. In the sweet potato, we need some of these pans. And these are in here in one store. There are for 5 of these, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 50 cents. But in the other store that has the same name, they're $1. So be careful with that. I bought these for 50 cents, the whole pack of 5. Then I just add some forks, and you can use disposable for that, knives and spoons. These are my favorite. They were very inexpensive, and I bought them from Oriental Trading. And they were like 12 for, I don't know, I think it was like $15, something like that. But the difference between these ones and the fabric ones, like if you have a wash machine at your center, that's fine. But when I do classes, I have to clean them. I have like 10, 15 minutes to clean them and sanitize them between children. So this is plastic, and I like them better, and they are very durable. So that's really cool. Then also in a store that we have almost in every county, these cutting boards, and it's not a dollar store. This is from a big store, so a grocery store, and they're only 98 cents. And I really like this. So be sure that also for your supplies, oh, I'm sorry. And you can use these disposable knives. They work really good with the recipes that we're doing. But my favorites are these ones because they're more durable, and you can buy them in Amazon, and they're like $10, I think, for maybe 12 knives. I can't remember. These ones are really good. I like these ones better, and the children, they feel like they are using a real knife. And then finally, be sure that you have paper towels, you have your cleaning solution, and your sanitizing solution. You're going to notice, and when I start showing you the recipes, that we use a lot of these containers. These containers, I bought a big box. I think they were like 1,500 in a box, and I still have a lot, and I use them all the time. And and you need to buy a box of lids too. So, and of course, we use to pack individually. We use Ziploc bags, and we use other types of bags, or even foil or other things like that. Okay, so I think I show you everything that I have in here. Now let's go to the recipes that we're going to cook today. So today, like I said, we're going to cook the spinach burrito, the veggie pizza, and the fruity tooty peach salad. But I can take some questions right now while I'm washing my hands. I'll see you in a little bit. Anybody has any questions? Or any comments? So you think can you use these recipes?
And Michelle, and I have that Natalie said she really wants to try some of those for herself. And those, I think, were the recipes by the months as you were showing them to everybody. And Lakeisha also said, I really like those as well. And Rochelle has also said that I certainly think we will use these recipes. I think because of how you divided them up by the month to make it easier, so you have 30 days to try to get everything together. I think that that's really making everything too a lot easier for teachers to be able to actually see themselves doing these activities in the classrooms. I think that that's just wonderful, and I love how they look. So
thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. So when we were planning this class, I really put myself as a teacher. We normally, we don't have the time to be planning a lot. So I wanted to do the planning, the shopping list for you. And another thing, that when I was in the classroom, I wanted children to have a visual. And normally, you can have the recipe, but it's not with pictures. So these took a lot of time, a lot of, I'm glad they told me last year that they wanted me to be back, because it was like a lot of work in these. But I want to show you these, and I'm already put these posters. I use Publisher to share these posters with you. They're in the Google Drive. So you can go to any of the stores that they print posters, and I think there are 18 by 24. So they're not too big, they're not too small. So when you're doing circle time, you can even say, okay, guess what? This month, we're going to be doing this recipe. And can you tell me what ingredients do we need? So they can mention the ingredients, what are the tools that they're going to need. And they, you know, you can add, and I'm not going to use the activities for the last session. You can add a lot go just with this recipe, because you can let them plan this cooking class just by using this poster. And then, you know, what do they need to do first? They need to wash their hands. We're going to cut all the fruits. Then they're going to mix these two ingredients. And then we're going to put those two ingredients on top of the fruits. So, and we did the same thing. I don't have the other poster in here. I didn't have any more space, but basically the same thing. We have 12 posters that you can send it to the printer, and they can and you can laminate them if you have access to that. And that, you know, you can keep those posters for many, many years. Okay, so now it's time to cook. My favorite is to eat. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna start. I don't even know where to start. Let's do the burritos first. Okay, so if you notice, this is the way, if I don't have too many children, this is the way I will have everything. I will put the ingredients in a tray. And again, these trays, I bought these trays at the end of the summer. So, you know, it's when the stores, they're coming with sales, because I don't want to spend too much money, but they have smaller ones, whatever, or that you can use their lunch trays. So you can fix everything in here, and that way they know that they have to clean this space. If you don't have that, it doesn't matter, because you can have all your ingredients in one tray, and then you know, you just put other stuff on the table. But so what I have in here, the first ingredient for, oh, that's the one that I don't have. So the first ingredient, we're gonna need just half of a whole wheat tortilla, okay? So we already cut it for them. Why do I'm doing half? Because it's too much for the children. It's gonna be, you know, the portion will be too big. So that's why we're doing half. And also this will be less expensive when we're cooking with children, okay? Then what I have in here, and I'm gonna need a knife, so I'm gonna grab one of these knives. What I'm gonna do, I have refried beans. So you don't even need to cook the beans, because they come from the can and you can eat them straight. That's safe. So I have my beans in here, and you have measurements like it says 1 tablespoon. Okay, sometimes it's hard to just measure 1 tablespoon. So for most of these recipes, you don't need exactly that amount. You know, this will work, because if it's less than 1 tablespoon, that's okay. If it's a little bit more, that's okay. So the kids, you're gonna first introduce all the ingredients with the children. So I have the refried beans, then I have 1 teaspoon of shredded cheese. Then I have 4 baby spinach leaves, okay? And then we have salsa, and this is optional. For some kids, the experience that I had, some, they love salsa. Others, they think it's hot, so they don't want to eat it, but that's optional, but it's not that expensive either. You know, you can tell them if they want it or not. So then you have your poster, and then you start following you can ask the children, what do we need to do first? So and also talk about shapes, about colors, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to go in details, because the last class will be about that. So we talk about some of the skills, right? Fine motor skills. So like spreading the beans. So this is a hard task. Oh, I forgot. I'm doing it in my cutting board, but they can do it in their plate. Okay, that's why we have the plates. Okay, so we'll put the beans, and you see, we were talking about being independent. So they're making their own snack or their own lunch. I gave them, I measure everything, like I said, because of the restrictions, but in the future, you can, they can measure one day, and then you can keep everything. They can help you with the prep stuff. Okay, so I have my beans. Let me put this in here. Then I'm gonna put my leaves. And we can count the leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the recipe actually says 4, but guess what? Marianne gave me 5. So I'm the lucky child, and I'm going to tell all the other children that I have more than them. And that's really cool because they are going to learn that 5 is more than 4. So, okay. What I love about the spinach leaves, look at this. You know, this is a big one and this is a little one. So we can also compare sizes, all that kind of stuff that we can do. Then we're going to put our cheese in here. Okay. And I'm going to roll my burrito. Okay. So we'll just roll, 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 roll. Another skill that is not that easy. Okay. Because for the children, we don't need to just give them easy activities. They need to be a little bit challenged. Now I can grab my plate. Okay. I have my burrito, o burrito en español. And then, ta-da, I'm going to be close, get closer. So I have I almost, here it is. So I have my burrito with my salsa. So that's our first recipe for today. Let me clean my hands a little bit. And the next one that we're going to do, we are going to do our pizza. Okay. So we do the same thing. We'll show them all the ingredients. Okay. But the first thing that we're going to, let's see, I have, oh, look it, here is the sour cream that we were missing. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave all the vegetables and the cheese. Okay. And in here we have 1 tablespoon of sour cream. We have 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, low fat, and 1 teaspoon of dry ranch mix. And I need a bowl and a spoon. Okay. And of course, this bowl doesn't want to come with me. Okay. So I'm going to put all these. And again, even opening these containers is a good way to build skills. Okay. Learn new skills. One thing that I recommend, I always say that be sure that you put all the things in the refrigerator, but with the cream cheese, be sure that you leave it out for a little bit. If not, it will be too hard for the children. And this is the dry ranch dip. You're going to see in my picture that my ranch dip is orange. I got the wrong one and it was hot. So for the pictures, but in this case, today I have the regular one, and that's the one that you want to get for the children because the other one was hot. So you're just going to tell the kids to stir, stir, stir. So they're going to mix these ingredients. See, this is again something that the children can do. Don't worry about being too messy. Some children are going to make a mess, but the same thing, you know, if you do it once a month, they're going to learn some techniques and they're going to learn how to do it, you know, a little bit more cleaning, but it's okay. They're learning. Okay, so we have all our ingredients mixed. Okay, so now we need our bread, right? Or pizza bread. In this case, we're making it easier and a little bit healthier. And we are using a flat bread, okay? This is the one that we bought, and this is according to your prep directions that you can cut it in 8 pieces, okay? They come in different shapes. So I like it this shape because it's easier for me to divide it. And actually 2 comes in a pack, and they're around $3.50, $4. And it's so much easier, but whatever shape you find at the store, that will be good. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put, will be better to use a plate like the children are going to do it. And this is going to be like the tomato sauce in my pizza, kind of, you know, because this pizza is not going to the oven. This is something that you can just, that you can just, what, Marianne? Oh, sorry. She said, move your bowl. And I said, what? Okay. So I even have a little bit left. So you can always have extra chips or something so they can eat it, or baby carrots if your kids are allowed to eat baby carrots there. Okay. So my pizza is almost ready, but now I'm going to get my vegetables. So I have shredded carrots. I have broccoli. I have grape tomatoes. And I have, you can use cherry tomatoes, but cherry tomatoes are more expensive. I have cheese, and I have chives, okay? And they only need one. They're kind of expensive, but they are fun, and I don't know, I like them. Okay, so and you can put that green color there. Okay, so now what I need to do, or the kids are gonna do, they're gonna cut their tomatoes in half, okay? So we're gonna tell them to cut their tomatoes in half, okay? You see how easy? You don't really need a real knife. And actually for tomatoes, the disposable knives, they work better than this one. Then I'm gonna cut my broccoli. So you tell them to cut the broccoli in little pieces, okay? And you're gonna notice that I have a little bit more of the ingredients that what they're gonna need, but that's on purpose, because if this doesn't fit in the pizza, they can always use it with the cream cheese, or they can just try it if it's a leftover, okay? Okay, I have this, I don't need this, oops, I lost that piece. Okay, so with the chive, this is kind of like getting bad. I love to use scissors. So what you can do in the beginning of the year, you can buy your, the amount of scissors that you need for your children, and just wash them really good, sanitize your scissors, and keep these. These are your cooking scissors. Some vegetables you're gonna use, just the knife, but others are so much fun to do it with scissors, like this one. You just cut it like this, and kids don't get frustrated. And you tell them just little pieces. You can even ask them to count how many pieces they're cutting. So I love to do this. And most of the times I use children's scissors to cut the herbs. So this is so much fun. Okay, how is my time? I'm doing good. Okay. Okay. I'm making a mess. Okay, let me grab this. Now, what we're gonna do, now that all our ingredients are ready, I am going to make the pizza. And that's, of course, it's gonna be so much fun for the kids. Okay, let me move all these so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so I have my pizza, and now I just need to put my veggies. So I can put my, and you see, this is the artistic part. They can create whatever they want, okay? Like I said, you see, I have more broccoli that I need, but that's okay because they can use these to dip under the other thing. So then you can put your carrots in here. This is looking delicious, and it smells really good. This dip smells good. Then I can put my chives. And again, chives is not something that children will recognize, but that's a way to teach, about using herbs and things like that. Okay, and then, oh, my tomatoes. I forgot my tomatoes. I'm gonna put my tomatoes in here. And if you can afford a bigger piece of bread, that's okay. But again, sometimes we don't want to give them a big piece because it's harder for the children to say. If they don't like it, they may say, oh no, I don't want it. But if it's a small piece and we say, just try it, they may try it. Okay, so let me show you my pizza. Here it is. And I cannot wait to eat this. I really like this. Okay, so now we're gonna do our last recipe. Let me clean this mess. And I'm gonna put this in here. You know what? I'm gonna put it with my dip and I'll eat it later. Okay. See, that is the problem of teaching these classes. I need to eat all the leftovers. I need to try the things when I take pictures. So I get all my veggies, all my servings of veggies and fruits, trying all these things. Okay, so our last recipe is our Fruity Tooty Peach Salad. All these names are coming directly from Marianne's mind, not my mind, because I'm not good. I'm not creative with names. So for this one, we're gonna need half of a peach. And we have it in here. Okay. Then we're gonna need 1 slice of pineapple. I don't know how Marianne was able to put, oh, actually we just got half. Okay, half, that's fine. Then we're gonna need 10 blueberries, okay? And I have them in here. Then we're gonna need 1 medium strawberry. Poor strawberry, she got there like squish. Then we're gonna need 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and 1 tablespoon of honey, and they're here. And my favorite, you know, of course, I'm gonna eat the fruit if it comes in an ice cream bowl. So a waffle ice cream bowl. So they're just so cute. Okay. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna clean this because it's gonna have some broccoli there. Okay. So it's ready now. So now we're gonna cut, you talk about the fruits, you talk about how you're gonna cut all these, and we just need to cut these really good. You see how easy it is to cut these? You will think that I'm gonna get frustrated with this, but no. So we chop our peach really good, okay? And I love peaches. And this one is not that good because we're not in, peaches are not ready yet, but they're coming soon. Okay. So after they chop their peaches, now they're gonna chop the pineapple, okay? And I put half of the pineapple thinking that you can serve 10 children, and I think it has 10 slices. But if you have only 5 children, that's fine. Or if you want to buy two containers, then you give them the whole slice. Okay, and then we have this, and now we're gonna chop our strawberry. Okay, and we'll do this. And for this, of course, you're gonna show them how to chop. And some children are gonna do it different, and that's okay because they're exploring. But the more you do it, the more they're gonna learn. Okay, so now I have all my fruits ready. Okay, we'll talk about the colors, we talk about all those things. And I'm gonna put my blueberries, I'm gonna put my peaches in here. My pineapple, my strawberries. And now I need another spoon. I completely forgot about the spoons. Remember that I told you to have all your supplies ready? So don't do this, okay? So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the lemon on the honey container, okay? And then they're gonna mix. And this is when you're gonna tell them to be very careful because they don't have a lot of space to mix, right? But not hard because the honey will stick here. So it's hard for them to make a big mess. Okay, after you mix really good, then, ooh, you put it in here. This is good. Let me grab a plate so I can take it to the camera and you can see what we're doing. And look, and look at this, delicious. I'm like, okay. So, and I'm already had lunch, so I don't know what's my problem. It just tastes really good. So we're going to go back to our presentation. I hope you like these recipes. And again, we have more of those recipes coming. The more you ask, the more you ask questions, the more we can do this. I don't know what I did with my clicker. Okay. So I just want to ask you something. This is the slide that we're, yes. Okay. I want to ask you a big, big favor. In order for us to do more materials like this, we need to know if they're working, if you're using them. So you don't have to fill out this survey right now. I would like for you to fill out this survey after you use the resources, okay? So after you do a recipe, send me this survey or fill out this survey so we know what need to do different. So you can scan the QR code, or if somebody can put this on the chat so they can save the link. Oh, this is the resources. I'm sorry, I'm talking about something completely different. Okay, so this is the survey, okay? So with the survey, this is after you do an activity. Not today, not tomorrow. When you do an activity, please send me this one, okay? And if someone can put it on the chat box, that will be good. So we can, yes.
We're just still seeing you. We're not seeing the survey that I think you want them to see. With the QR code. There you go. It's up there.
No, I'm telling you, I'm just talking and talking.
There you go.
Thank you. So
you're welcome.
Sharonda, if you can put this in the chat box, I would really appreciate.
All right.
Okay, you got it?
I think between me and Emma, are you guys able to do that? Hold on.
Just dropped it in.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, perfect. Just do it when you do an activity. That will help me. Like if they invite me next year, I know what you need, okay? So the next thing that I'm sharing with you today, this is what you really need is the resources, okay? All the things that I share with you today, this is everything is going to be there, okay? If you see any mistakes, like I said, you're kind of like the guinea pigs of this, right? So if you see any mistakes, please let me know so I can fix them. Or again, in the survey, you can tell me if one recipe is like, oh, Michelle, I don't know what you were thinking when you did this. Tell me. I want you to be honest so that way we know what to change or what to adapt. Okay, so this is the end of my presentation, but now I would love to hear comments, questions, anything that you want to share.
The only other thing I see is that they love the tips as well as the prep. But again, guys, please, you can unmute yourselves and show your videos, and please feel free to talk to Michelle. Michelle, I have to say that this was wonderful. And I am so excited to see what happens in class 2 and class 3, especially with the charts that you have for the monthly recipes. Those I'm just in love with. I'm just in love with that. And I'm looking over your shoulder now, at it on the refrigerator. But that is really cool and great a great way to introduce this to children during circle time. So
thank you.
Another one said, thank you for sharing with us. Everything was great. It seems very simple to use and they're excited. And so that's from a home child care center. So, where your director's also your teacher. So that's great. Another one says, great variety of recipes. They cannot wait to try them.
Good. And I tried all those recipes, and anything that I don't like it, I don't use it. So.
And Natalie, I think you may know Natalie. Natalie said, your excitement for this topic is contagious and she is inspired.
Oh, you should see us taking pictures and eating. That was very exciting.
Oh my goodness. So as promised, everybody, these were going to be different from last year. So please spread the word so everybody can come back and learn how to make some healthy snacks, albeit at school or either in your homes, either which way.
So another thing that I forgot to put it on the slide, on your prep time, you also have a list of things to be sure that you're practicing about food safety and kitchen safety. So just to show you what is in the Google Drive, I'm not going to get into the Google Drive, but this is like the prep before class. And like I said, at the end, you have kitchen and food safety recommendations. Then you have your shopping list. This is what I shared before. This is the survey. Of course, you have the presentation for today. And this is another thing that I have the posters, but I also put their handouts. Oh, yes, I need to tell you about that. So the handout, you have this recipe, okay? If you decide that you want to make copies and send it with the parents so the children can repeat the recipe at home, I think that would be great. And another thing that the harvest of the month from the Steps to Health program, they have handouts, parent handouts, and I was able to match, I think I had all the products that we use except spinach and carrots. So, but I talked to the Steps to Health staff, and they're trying to make us one for spinach and carrots. Okay. And I think pumpkins. Yeah, those were the three that I didn't have. But there's another, that's something else. You have a handout that you can send with the parents so they can, keep talking about pumpkins and carrots and spinach or whatever is the produce for that month.
Michelle, will you be sending out the drive to us, the Google access to that Google Drive so that so Mia and Emma can send that to everyone?
Sure.
Okay.
And it's going to be the same Google Drive for all the sessions. So what I like right now, you can only see the first session, but next week when we finish the other one, you will be able to see the other one and then the third one.
Wonderful.
And that link is in the chat as well. I dropped it in there too, so folks can click on it there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other comments?
I would just like to remind everybody that next week and the week after, we will be back at our 12 o'clock hour with Michelle, okay? So just remember again, next week on Tuesday and then the following Tuesday, we'll be back at 12 o'clock for our Cooking with Children with Extension Agent Michelle Estrada, okay? Any other questions, comments? You guys want to unmute yourselves and say anything?
Hi, this is Lakeisha from New Hanover County. I just want to say thanks again so much. Some of this will definitely be added to my toolbox, my arsenal, as I work with other childcare sites that aren't part of the collaborative, but are still doing the work. Maybe add to some workshops that we've done for cooking with children. My cohort Matt has done that too. So this was really, really great to have all the visuals and all the lists done, and so much work obviously went into it. I'm super excited. So I just want to give a huge thank you to Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And the purpose of doing all these, as you are growing these products, that way you can have a recipe and a shopping list ready for you. So just use what you're growing in your gardens.
All right, everyone, if all hearts and minds are clear, Michelle, thank you again. There are just no words, you just don't understand. So, but I am so excited about the next two as well, because you did bring it today. Like you said, you were going to change stuff around and working on stuff. So again, that's one of those positive nuggets that came out of COVID. Look at all of this stuff that you produced for the benefits of our children. So I'm very happy about that. Well, with that being said, I will be a steward of your time and be a good steward at that. And thank everybody. We're on 1 minute till, and if nothing else, we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Thank you and have a good day.
Bye-bye.